Okay guys, welcome back to the channel. So today we are going to chat about, I think, a topic that most people ponder when they're filling out the top end of their bag in the woods section. Should you use the same shaft in your driver and in your 3-wood or fairway woods or whatever those may be? Recently we've been doing some testing with the Ventus Red profile, kind of manipulating the profile a little bit with how we build it. We built Matt a couple different ones, tipped and untipped. It really changed the profile for you and how it felt and that type of thing.
Definitely.
Of all the Ventus shafts, the black, the blue and the red, obviously the red being the most tip active, is the one that we would normally associate as the fairway wood designated shaft.
That's right. And is that why generally you don't say to people, for sure you should match your driver in 3-wood, because you may have put them in a tip stiff shaft in the driver, and a fairway wood, you want a little bit of activity to get the ball up in the air and it might not suit it.
Definitely. The difference in head profile is effectively why you would choose different shaft profiles.
Right.
So with the head being so much bigger on the driver, the center of gravity being further back, that head wants to move more forward.
Right.
So you have to stabilize that movement of the head to try and, you know, keep the head structurally stable and kind of as it's coming down. You don't want to compromise the face angle too much. You want to allow it to be in lead deflection. You want it to be creating energy, but you don't want it to be inconsistent in its behavior.
So generally speaking, you've got a profile in the driver,
Yep.
and you have a slightly tip soft version of that, or a different shaft, but if you take the tip section, it generally is softer in the fairway wood.
The fairway wood shaft is softer to allow for the amount of you know, activity that you need in a fairway wood. Because that center of gravity is much closer to the face, you're going to get less forward movement.
Right.
So they basically make that tip section softer relatively to the driver and actually the hybrid either side of that,
right,
so that you get the right amount of deflection to create dynamic loft and feel and load and all those sorts of things.
The shaft conversation is quite interesting, and we've seen it in the lives heavily asked.
Yeah.
Driver and 3-wood shaft, should they match? I think what's funny is 5-6 years ago, I heard people asking, should the heads match?
Yeah.
I think it took a while for people to stop matching a set, and we're going to do that test today just for consistency, but do I need a package set of Sims? Should I get all Maverick woods? And people used to do that. I think now very few people do that.
Yeah.
And hopefully the shaft trend will go with it, where people get individually fit for the shaft that works for that club.
100%.
Yeah.
The nature of such a different task, ball on a tee, ball on the ground.
Yeah.
The ball on the ground and the ball on the tee when it comes to a 3-wood, you know, normally has to be a versatile club. So really there's no need anymore to make it the same. The reality is though, as long as that head and shaft has the right characteristics, you could.
That's the point of this too.
That's the point of this test.
We're going to do that. We have a Sim Ventus Red 6X. We have
Yep.
a Sim Ventus Red 7X in the fairway wood.
Let's hit a couple with, we've got 2 different driver shafts, as you guys know, we talked about that. We're going to kind of get you hitting the right one. We're going to start with the untipped version, purely because if you were building a set of woods with the same head, same shaft combination, typically you would tip the fairway wood a little bit extra to manage the additional head weight on those. So you're maybe 205 in your driver when it comes to the head and the sleeve, 205 grams. You may be 215 to 217 when it comes to the fairway wood.
Right.
So you have to tip the shaft a little bit more to manage that amount of mass.
So we're representing what would be a common build.
Yeah.
We know we can and will customize it, but if you went and got matching sets, it's coming like this.
Yes.
They're coming just the way we're going to test it.
Exactly.
Picked up where it left off.
Beautiful. Speaking of higher strikes,
That's the one we wanted. Hello. Might be a bit heely. It certainly works to hit fairways. Okay. it definitely feels better. Instantly better.
Feels that's more in your wheelhouse.
Because I didn't feel the right word.
That's a beauty.
That's better.
Love that flight. Good driver. Really good driver for you.
This is nice. It's very much moved the strike into a good spot. This is autopilot. It's actually, I'm enjoying this one better than the first time we tested it, the tipped one. I feel like I'm hitting it straighter than last time. Interesting.
Get a little more launch from the face control.
Definitely. Yeah, so it closing less plus moving the strike up.
Yeah.
We ended up with way better launch conditions anyway and better speed, a little more ball speed.
Okay, so that's the one we're going to compare it to.
Absolutely.
That's so
as
good.
Good as it gets, that one.
Look at that. That's the bomber. As a sort of collection of shots, we'd be pretty pleased with them, wouldn't we?
Absolutely.
Yeah, from a shaft contribution standpoint and what we can see it doing, obviously it's very consistent for you.
Yes.
If I was actually to throw in a recommendation, I actually think you might do a little better with the blue.
Interesting.
In the fairway.
In the fairway wood, yeah. I agree with that.
Just seeing how that maybe that path is kicking out more than we would like it to.
Agree.
So I do think a tipped red is working nicely.
Yep.
A blue in there might be just perfect.
And even that conversation right there, you've already discussed, or we've already basically proven why matching it driver to 3-wood is basically never going to work. Even if you were to match the shafts themselves, you've tipped that one so much that it's a different shaft at this point.
Yeah.
Now we're talking about the blue being a better fit in the 3-wood.
Yeah.
It's just so unlikely that you're going to have two straight-in Ventus Reds into your driver and 3-wood.
I know.
Like, why would you?
So rare. So rare. And again, back to what the Acra guys designed with that dynamically matching shafts. That's why they done it.
Yeah.
Because they know that you need different behavior, from each shaft.
So true.
I would say that there's a lot of people will be looking at this going, okay, this makes a lot of sense. This is why I will never buy driver and fairway wood at the same time together again, or because you got a driver and it's working well, I'll just go out and buy the 3-wood. Hold the horses is a different task.
Absolutely. And the head choice, in my case, these heads work great for me.
Yeah.
Somebody might have had the good fit with a driver. This might need to be a Titleist head or a Callaway head for you. So just the match set in general, I think, is basically dispelled. Okay,
guys, one that I'm actually shocked it's taken us over 700 videos to talk about this.
Specifically, yeah.
When we thought about this one earlier, we actually saw a question come up on the Q&A this morning. We thought, okay, today's the day to do that.
For sure.
Fuji were really kind, sent us 3 Ventus, 2 to build a driver and 1 for a fairway wood, and it's a perfect time to do this topic.
I think it is. This is the most apples to apples we've done it. I think this is exactly how your fit would go, and just be open-minded to it.
Yeah.
Just let your fitter show you which is going to work, and the hybrid will be no different. You might have a third hybrid shaft, third shaft in the hybrid.
Yeah. Everyone's going to have their own opinions. There's so much. I can think my mind's racing with different examples of different people. Tiger loves a match set.
He does.
Diamana D Plus Limited, 60, 70 and 80. 60 in his driver, 70 in the 3-wood, 80 in the 5-wood.
True.
Loves it. Loves that continuity of feel. There's unique tipping and things like that going on there just to change, obviously, the characteristics. Other players who play completely unique in contrasting profiles. So lots of examples of people who do and people who don't.
And ultimately, there's really no point in comparing yourself to someone else's golf swing anyway.
Yeah.
Because you're going to have different characteristics, especially someone like Tour Pros, Tiger. it's unlikely that even if it works for Tiger, it's not going to work for us.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, something to think of. Again, more things to arm you guys with information when you're going into fits. And you may find a fitter who's got less experience who just finds the easy route to fit you by going, okay, well, you hit that one great in the driver, let's just get you into that one in the 3-wood. You now are armed with enough information to go, okay, let's try that, but what else are we going to try? Let's maybe challenge that thought process and see if there's something that's even better for you guys out there. So that would be my takeaway, for you guys at the end of this. You just have a little bit more information now going into fits for yourself. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you again soon.